Everybody, it's Daniel. In the last video, we kind of updated Android X. We added ViewModel and LiveData. This is the app we're building. We're on part like 7, I think, 6 or 7. So yeah, the last video was kind of boring. In this video, I'm hoping it'll be more interesting. We're going to use ViewModel to create this kind of app where we can scroll through news stories. So it's kind of like Feedly. Almost think of it like an RSS reader or news reader, or almost kind of like Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, where you just like scroll through stories and you can read them. Different stories like 5 minutes ago or an hour ago or from yesterday or last week. You just kind of scroll through there and do that. The last video was kind of boring. In this video, what I want to work on is login activity. So I'm going to close the other tabs. Let's just open up login activity. So if I were to, let's go here, and if I were to open this up, and I'll go to News Media app, if I go to app info, and if I go ahead and if this loads, if I clear the storage, I'm going to clear storage, then I'm going to go back to the app, I'm going to go to News Media, it asks us to log in. So the first thing we need to do is if you type in a bad password, it won't let us in. But if I type in secret, which is our password for now, it takes us inside of here. So we're going to work on this login register. We're going to work on the login right now. First of all, I don't like how messy this is. A lot of our logic is inside of the of our activity. So we're going to take, so like our sign in button, when we press that, we have a set on click listener set up on that. And we do a bunch of logic to figure out what actually is, we do a bunch of logic to figure out if it's the correct password. Now in real life, this will be Firebase, which you may get into in a future lesson, or maybe Google Cloud Platform or Amazon Web Services. DigitalOcean, Linode, HP, Rackspace, you name it, they're all basically the same thing. I prefer Google Cloud, but you can use anything. Firebase is actually probably the easiest, and we may use that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a view model for this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new package. So let's go to new package, and we'll call this login. Kind of good, just kind of creating a folder. Actually, not what I wanted. Undo that. I'm going to go into here. So that's what I did. We'll call this login. Cancel. Let's see. Whoops, not what I wanted. I was messing with this the other day. Project. Flatten packages. That actually might be right. Is that right? Why is it creating it there? I'm on Android. Here, let's do this. Let's go into News Media. Sorry about this. I was messed up. It's not what I wanted. Let's go into source. Let's go into main, Java. Yes, we have our package there. We can go into test, Java. We don't have our package. Yeah, this is good. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into Android mode. And I don't know why the package is showing up there. That's weird. I don't know. Sorry, this is even I get confused sometimes. Is it grouping? Let's see. So flatten packages, empty middle packages, show members, auto scroll, blah, blah, blah. I think that's good. You know what? I don't know why it's showing up there. It's usually should show up inside of there. You know what? We'll do this. We'll do new. Let's just create a new class. So we'll just do this new. We'll call it a Kotlin class. We'll call this LoginViewModel. That'll be a class. And you know, let's actually create it inside of here. Sorry. So new Kotlin class. We'll call this LoginViewModel. This will be a class. Change that to class. Go ahead and hit OK. That shows up inside of there. And app source main Java, com example, news media login. Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. And we want this to extend ViewModel, which we pulled in the last video. Whoops, so I'm going to go back. ViewModel, import that in. Is that the right one I pulled in? ViewModel, let's see. Yes, that's correct. ViewModel. So here's our ViewModel class. So we have this, and we want this to actually, it's giving us some errors. We won't be concerned about that for now. I think I might have something, I think one of my settings might be off. I'm sorry, I apologize for this. I'm like, there we go, that's what I needed. Okay, so I just needed to uncheck flatten packages, sorry. So ViewModel, and we'll go ahead and do that. Sorry about that, even sometimes I get Stopped. Okay, so we have our LoginViewModel, class ViewModel. That can be named anything. I just named it LoginViewModel. We want to extend, oops, sorry. We want to extend, put that there to extend the ViewModel, which is a class. If you command or control click on there, we can see all the code inside of there. Great. Let's go ahead and go inside of login activity. Let's do this. Let's do late init var. We'll call this ViewModel. We'll do LoginViewModel. So that sets this up for us, and it's not being used right now. But back inside of our onCreate, to actually use our ViewModel, let's do this. Let's do ViewModel equals, we'll do ViewModel provider. I think that's wrong. We might not have pulled in the right thing. I guess what that is, ViewModel unless something changed, I apologize. See, let's work through this together. So it should be, I'm pretty sure if I go back to Chrome and if I look for the tutorial, I must have done a long time. Optional. So we didn't pull in those, but we pulled in all of our life cycle. We didn't do that, we pulled in that. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go back, let's just Google stuff. So say you don't know how to do something. If you want to figure something out, let's go to Android ViewModel. Let's just go ahead and do this. And let's go ahead and go to Jetpack. We'll just click on the first result there. And it should be, to use it, we can see it's, here's a new way to do it. I wonder if we can use that. I'm gonna copy that, paste it in here. I learn something new every day. Go ahead and do that. We'll do, and we'll pull that in. No, we can't use it. We probably need to pull in the KTX for that, but we won't do that right now. But it should be dot. I'm sorry, this is taking me a long time. ViewModel, we're looking for ViewModel. I might not have pulled in the right stuff because I'm stumped right now. This is going to be like my worst video on YouTube, I swear to God. This is my worst video. And I never edit anything, so this usually works. I don't know. We might not have pulled in the right thing. Maybe we didn't sync Gradle. But like I'm like 99% positive we're supposed to go ViewModel equals, and then we'll do I'm pretty sure it's providers dot of. So if we go here, I'm gonna go ahead and Google that. I swear to God, this is my worst video. Android, and if I don't want to go to the reference actually on Android I just want to go to the guide. So let's see, it's deprecated. Yeah, we're supposed to use ViewModel providers. Yeah, so here it is, ViewModel providers. So we must not have pulled in the right dependencies. That's probably what's going on here. So I'm pretty sure I synced Gradle. So let's figure this out together. So if I put that there, if I just pull that in, import. It's giving us an error there. I swear to God, this is my worst video. I'm so sorry. .get. We'll do login ViewModel class Java. There we go. I don't know what I was doing. So this must have been. This is from that. This is my worst video on YouTube, August 7th. So last time I was working with this app, it was ViewModel providers but that's been deprecated. So. So we've worked through this together. You can pass a fragment or activity, blah, blah, blah. Basically says, so if you look at Stack Overflow, it says, this, to replace that, the ViewModel providers, which I was looking for, to ViewModel provider, and then just pass in a context, and then get the class. So that's actually new. So this is my worst video. We've learned this together. I will never make that mistake again. I don't know why I didn't know that. Like at work, I do this. At work, we use the factory, so I actually haven't done it. Anyways. Sorry, my worst video, but I'm still gonna publish it. I'm not gonna re-record it. Okay, so ViewModel. So now we can do this. So sign in button dot set on click listener. And by the way, I just want to clarify something. This happens like all the time. Like I'll think I know how to do something. I'll set up my ViewModel. Like it just doesn't work. Like you saw what I did. Just Google the problem. Like what did I Google? I Googled what I thought it was, Android ViewModel providers. I looked for a Stack Overflow post, which I do all the time. And you know, just start reading and see, oh, you know, something got updated. You know, simply replace this. So replace the ViewModel provider of with ViewModel provider passed in the context. So it's not necessarily hard. It just takes a lot of work. And trust me, I've read probably tens of thousands of Stack Overflow posts, like literally a ton. So we want to offload some of this stuff to our ViewModel. So back to the code. So sign in button, that's set on click listener. We basically want to get rid of all of that. That goes to there. Yeah, we want to get rid of all of it, or we want to move. we want to move all of this into our ViewModel. How can we do that? So let's do inside of our sign in button. When you hit the sign in button, set on click listener, we'll do ViewModel dot, and we haven't actually set up our method yet. So let's go back to our ViewModel. We'll do fun. We'll do attempt login. So there's our new method. So we can do dot attempt login, and there's our method. So the ViewModel needs something. It needs our password. So all of this, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that, and I'm going to just for now paste in there. And we actually don't want all that stuff, but we'll get to that in a second. So we want to pass. So let me back up. So when we have a sign in button, when we do the set on click listener, we'll go to the ViewModel and we'll attempt the login. But we need to send the password that we're trying from this login screen into our main app screen. Or we need to send it to our ViewModel. So let's do this. Let's do, I think it was called user password.text. Yes, so it's called user password. So user password.text.toString. So right now, we're doing attempt to login and we're passing it something. We're passing it the user password, but it's not accepting it here. So we'll do password string. That gets rid of the error there, so this is all good. We're going to add another method down here in just a second, but for now, that's good. Okay, so we need to replace this with, let's just kind of start over. Let's just forget about all that for right now. So what do we want to do? We want to see if it's the right password. So we'll do when password is secret, do that. I think we got an else do that. I think we can use an else and a when. So basically, so we get our password, so there's a password, it's a string. We'll do a when statement on it, and when the password is secret, then we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll do that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so when it's a secret, what do we want to do? We want to go to the main activity. So we want to go to our main activity. That's what we want to do. I'm going to slowly start getting rid of some of this text. So we've got rid of that. We don't need that. Shared preferences we'll deal with in just a second. But I'm going to comment that out. When the password is secret, we want to go to our main activity. So you might think we can just copy our activity there. Maybe we can just do start activity. It's a ViewModel. We don't really want this Android stuff inside of here. Let's go up to the top of our login ViewModel, and let's do this. Let's do val. Let's do go to main screen. We're doing this for now. We may refactor it later, but this is going to equal immutable live data of type. Actually, there's a better name for this, but we'll do Boolean for now. So there we go. So whenever we attempt to log in, whenever the password is secret, we'll do this. I'm going to comment that out because we don't need that right now. We'll do go to main screen dot value. We'll just call it true. this will kind of be our trigger. So that can be, no, that can't be private. So this right here, I'm going to copy that. So copy that, and let's get rid of that. So when the password is secret, we're going to do that. It's going to trigger our mutable live data. Now we need to go back inside login, and we need to do something. Let's do this. Let's do ViewModel dot, and then we have access to our go to main screen. So we'll do dot observe, and we'll do this observer. Hopefully this hasn't changed. Paste that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and click on there and do Alt-Enter. That imports it, and there we go. We're good. I'm going to get rid of that. We don't need that. So we've cleaned up our activity a lot. And by cleaned up, I mean we've gotten rid of a lot of the logic. So logic is stuff like if and when, and that's basically what it is. If and when is kind of our logic. So we trigger that. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of that spacing. Get rid of that. We don't need that. I'm going to get rid of that one more time. So the last thing we're doing is we're kind of saving this code right here actually saves it to shared preferences. We did that in a previous lesson. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just, let's create a new function. We'll call this fun. We'll do save credentials. And I'll paste the code in there. And I'm going to uncomment all of that. And we need one more bracket there. I'm going kind of fast. Hopefully this is making sense. So right now we're not actually doing anything with our credentials. That's not being called right now. But our ViewModel is nice and clean. There's a better way to do this, but just for clarity we'll do, so if our password is secret, we'll do that. Otherwise we'll do go to main screen dot value equals false. This is not an ideal way, but hopefully this makes sense. I don't want to get into too advanced stuff, and hopefully this will work for now. This is kind of maybe not the best practice, but let's do this. So if it's secret, the value of our go to main screen will be true. Otherwise, it'll be false. So normally you don't want to do logic here, but we'll kind of do this. Inside of here, because the type of our live data is a Boolean, which means it's either true or false, we have access to it there. See, it says Boolean, so we'll do if it's if equals, all she was if. So if it's true, we'll go to our main screen. Else, we will, actually, how do we want to do that? Else we'll create a new method. We'll do the new method. This method will be fun. We'll do show error. We'll call it show error. And this will just log something for now. So we'll do invalid password. And I'm going to click on there and do Alt-Enter and import. That gets rid of that error. Else, so in the else right here, we'll do show error. So our ViewModel, we're observing that. Every time our go to main screen changes over there, we're going to trigger that. And we're going to do a little bit of logic. So if the value for that is true, we'll start the new activity. We'll go to our main activity. Otherwise, we'll show an error. So that's pretty good. But we're not using our saved credentials. So if go to main screen is true, let's do this. Let's save credentials really quick. So we'll save credentials, and then we'll go to the main screen. So I'm going to save that. And I'm trying to think here. What else? Is this good? This might be good. So we have one error. So I'm going to click there and do Alt-Enter. Go ahead and import that. And we've made a lot of changes. Let's go ahead and run it. Let's just see if this works. So I'm running it. Could crash, who knows. So I'm not sure that was a good test. So we need to do this. Let's go into News Media. I'm going to go inside of App Info, and I'm going to clear the storage. Because right now it's remembering our password, but we don't want it to do that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to News Media. And it's asking for a password. I'll type ASDF. No, it doesn't work. If I go inside the logcat, We'll see invalid password right there. So invalid password, which is right there. There's our error, invalid password. So now I'm going to type secret, which is our password, and it goes to main screen. So everything we've done is working. I'm going to recap what I did, and this is a little bit embarrassing because I kind of screwed up at the beginning with our ViewModel stuff and with our folder example. But you know, stuff like that happens all the time. Even I make mistakes and have to Google and figure stuff out. It's just part of being a programmer. It's part of being a software engineer. So first we did is we created a ViewModel. We created a class, we called it LoginViewModel, and that extends our ViewModel. Then we created our new function, so that's a function. It's called, and we called this attempt login, and we're calling it from every time we click on the sign in button. So there's our ViewModel.attempt login, and we're going to pass it our password from this class over to here. So now we have access to password right there. So we're going to do a when statement. So when our password is secret, we're going to do all of that. Else or otherwise, we're going to do that. So we set go to main screen to true when it's secret and set it to false when it's not. So what do we do with our go to main screen? Well, if we go back inside of login activity, we can see our go to main screen, we're observing it right there. All that code observes it. So we see whether or not it's true or false. If it's true, we do save credentials, and then we go to the main screen. Otherwise, we show an error. And so our save credentials method, that's that right there. Our start main activity, that's just goes to the main screen. Otherwise, we'll show an error, which is our function right there. Now, a couple things we can do. We can actually make these private. So I'm going to make that private. I'm going to make that private. The word private before the word fun means that show error can only be called from inside of anywhere inside of this class. So if I were to go inside of here and just do login activity dot, say I try to call, I'll make it not private for now. I'll get rid of private. So now I can call dot show error. So see, I can actually call that. But this is inside of our login view model, and I don't want to access it there, so I can do private. So that means private, that means show error can only be called from inside of here. So if I go back inside of our view model, it says, hey, there's an error. It's private. We can't access our show error because we put private inside of there. So I can access it anywhere inside of this class, but not inside of here. And that's kind of a good practice because we don't need to call it inside of there. So get rid of that. And I think that's it. So good work. Sorry about screwing up that. I just thought I was, I've done it for years the other way and I didn't know how to do it. But the good news is I'll always remember it. I'll never forget. I made a mistake. This is one of my worst YouTube videos. I made a lot of mistakes. But the thing is, I think over the past like 3 years, I've never edited a single video ever. Like, I don't edit videos. Like, look at the time. It's Sunday, January 26th at 12:17. Like, I just record the video and go. Like, if I make mistakes, I make mistakes. And I think part of being a software engineer or Android engineer is learning how to fix mistakes. Because that's kind of your job. You're like a professional problem solver. You have to figure out problems all the time. So, long video, made mistakes. I'll see you in the next video.